It's a powerful delegation from both the European and African unions to Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, for the second General Assembly of the Integrated and Circular Technologies for Sustainable City Region Systems in Africa, known as In-Cities Food. The project, funded by the European Union, aims to revolutionize food systems in Africa by enhancing food and nutrition security across 4 vital dimensions: availability, access, utilization, and stability through solutions centered around soilless crop farming, recirculating aquaculture systems, and insect farming. With food security consistently threatened in Africa, these food and nutrition experts are calling for a change in the narrative with little or no discomfort to people and the environment. Oyo State is one of the 2 hubs for the project in Nigeria, and they pay a courtesy visit to the state governor to brief him on the project.
What we want is that they see advantages in our innovation technologies, our circular food production technologies. For instance, soilless agriculture, hydroponics, which can be done with very little own investment and very little land, and you can produce either your own vegetables and fruits, or you could also produce for the market, for the local market, and gain an additional income.
The recognition that there is dearth of knowledge about food production in cities led the consortium to set up a 40-participant capacity outdoor training center at the University of Ibadan to expand the knowledge of beneficiaries that small farming spaces can be possible and profitable. Another major problem the project aims to eradicate is the loss of quantity and quality of food materials during transportation. Fragile micronutrients often lost during transportation of food from rural to city environment can be controlled.
So we want to look at how to produce quality food and within a small area, not supporting or trying to solve the problem of waste and environmental pollution of city through agriculture.
Lagos is the other pilot state in Nigeria, and the partners to the project believe that Africa must work to increase food production in a city environment to eradicate hunger.
Urban space more food sufficient by going into food production with low technology. And in doing so, we also create job employment for our youths.
The 4-year project seeking to empower African communities in food production, supply and value chain, and these circular agri-food technologies have been considered suitable for the context of African cities because they do not require great access to land.
You've heard it all from the DVC, Research, Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, Professor Simisola Akintola. Thank you once again, Ma. Okay, so other questions I have for the team would be directed to Dr. Oyediro Olusegun Oyebola. Is the co-PI UI team lead in Cities Food Project, Department of Aquaculture and Fisheries Management. You're welcome once again, sir. So let's just go straight to what the food project is. She mentioned some while she was talking what the food project is all about, but I want you to give us in details what this is about and how long has it been on, and what specific food security problems is the project designed to solve.
Thank you very much. I want to first of all appreciate the Deputy Vice Chancellor for providing this opportunity for research and innovation not to stay within us, but to get to as many people as possible that can use the innovations. It's really a well thought out idea that we should discuss what we have so that people can utilize it more. This In-Cities Food Project talks about integrated and circular technologies for city food system in Africa. It's a EU Farm to Fork project sponsored, and it started in 2022 and it will end this year.
Oh,
But we had a lot of activities, and when we got talking, and then she said, why have you not been saying this? Why are our people being trained in this? And I said, yes, we have.
Okay, before you move on, why is it ending this year?
Because it's 2022 to 2026.
Okay,
but the impact goes beyond this year.
All right.
And actually, some of the ideas that are coming up, they are actually from within the concept of within the year, because the projects utilize what we call a living lab concept. A living lab is a place where research is not incubated just in the normal laboratory. A co-creation environment where we bring people together, come up with an issue, with a complex matter like climate change, like food security, like some other issues that are complex, and then we bring stakeholders together. This problem we have, how do we solve it? And everybody comes together to bring idea. And then the idea, the prototypes are developed in that particular place, and stakeholders are brought again to look at it, and then, oh, this is not good enough, okay, let's do some iterations, and then we go and iterate again, and then we get to a particular level at which the product can then go outside and everybody can use it.
Okay.
In this context, we are looking at food security. The other time we're talking about what is the state of the food security in Africa. Africa is growing in population, and currently we cannot feed ourselves. According to statistics in Nigeria, 25 million people are at high risk of food insecurity, while over 18 million are food insecure. Now, and it is projected that our population is going to skyrocket. And so, currently we cannot handle this. How do we solve that problem when the population increases? Secondly, food is coming from the farms. Farms are located in rural environments, and rural environment is being impacted by insecurity.
Okay.
And so, we cannot really farm where we are farming before. Where we have limited supply, then we are also not secure to go there.
Okay.
So a good Fulgabeni, for instance, now,
Yeah, that's the food
is the food basket
of the nation.
and then people are dying. So how do we do? People that are the workforce that's supposed to even do farming in the farm, they are moving to the urban environment.
Yeah.
So the workforce is reducing. Then industrialization is expanding, taking more of the agricultural land into the peri-urban urban setting. So the problem of food is going to be to increase, and more so when we are transporting perishable food from the farm to the city for sales, some micronutrients are lost.
Okay.
So the food gets to the city, the urban people pay more for the food, but the food is of less quality. So we must bring food production to the city.
To the city.
And that's why the concept is talking about city,
Okay.
urban
Cities.
environment,
Okay.
in the cities
Yeah.
of Africa. So there is a lot of issues here, which is a complication. And so we cannot just sit down and come up with idea of how to solve it.
All right.
We must bring stakeholders together. And that's why the
Wow.
concept of living lab stands.
Okay.
And let me announce to
And
you.
UI has been chosen for this.
So UI has been chosen as one of the participating universities in Africa.
Okay.
That's since 2022 we started working on this. So we have a living lab in the University of Ibadan
Presently.
and by the grace of God we have already established what we call African Network of Living Labs.
Okay.
The idea came from us here, and we took all the other living labs together and we have established that.
Okay.
So that we can have a forum of labs that are doing this, and that we can connect and we can have a network in solving complex
Is this
problems.
open to the general public or a particular set of people that is expected to be a part of it?
Now it's open to general people, and living lab is a concept that is not restricted to food.
Or what
We
other,
can
what other
order
areas?
any other area. For instance, if you have complicated issues regarding to communication in Nigeria or whatever, you can come
Bring
up
it on. Okay.
and then call different stakeholders and then discuss about it, and then come with a prototype of what to do,
Oh.
and then try to experiment it, and then come up with what you have, call people again and they say, oh, this what you have is not good enough. So it's an idea that works even with our students,
Okay.
that can innovate, that can bring idea that can solve the problem of our nation and even the whole world.
So how has it been so far since 2022?
Yeah, thank you very much. No, our focus has been on food. So we are focused on food. And the first thing about food is, where do we produce the food?
Yeah.
In the city. Number one, where we will get the soil.
That's important.
How much will a farmer be ready to pay for land in the city? So we're thinking about, how do we produce so much without even using soil?
Oh,
So we are focusing on soilless farming system.
okay.
You don't need, even in this room,
So I can grow
you can grow your things in
Wow.
your surroundings, in as much as you can get a source of sunlight, and the
Okay.
nutrients is available for the plant, and water is available, and there is an anchor for the plant, then the plant can grow.
Wow, beautiful.
I'm a fisheries person,
Okay.
so this is where we are now coming. We want to produce food. We have both crop and animals. If you take only animal crop sources of food, there will be malnutrition,
Okay.
which is also another problem. So if you take fish alone, or there is a problem with the other one. So we
Yes.
have a balanced diet.
Oh.
So our concept marry fish production with crop production. Now, the problem of fish farmers in the city, we are encouraging people in the city to produce fish. The problem of fish farmers in the city is how to manage the waste,
Okay.
the solid and the liquid waste. It smells. And the problem of crop farmers is, where do we get the land and how do we get the nutrients? They will go and buy synthetic fertilizer. The world is running a synthetic fertilizer.
Yeah.
So, but the problem for fish production is what the crop farmers are buying, which is the fertilizer.
Okay.
So the wastewater from the fish production has high level of nitrogen, and that is science now. High
That's
level
why
of
she said food as a science,
Science
and the system.
so and then there's conflict. That's why maybe the legal people comes in. There's conflict, conflict of use of the environment.
Okay.
Why would you be getting money from your fish production and I'll be taking the smell?
So it cuts across.
It's a cross-cutting issue.
Yeah.
So now the nitrogen in the water, which the food, after food interact with water and fish, there's high level of ammonia, nitrogen, and all of those things. That is what the crop farmer is buying. So we did a marriage. We linked the fish water with the crop production.
Okay.
And instead of using soil, we use soilless media.
Wow.
So we only need to let the water from the fish tank to go to the crop. And the crop takes its own, reduce the nitrogen that is there, that is making it to smell and making it to do. After removing it, the water becomes lighter and it goes back to the fish again to use. That is the concept of circular.
Absolutely interesting. Well done, sir. Well done. All right. So, because of our time, I would quickly ask this question. So, what message would you like to share with farmers and young agripreneurs listening right now?
Yeah, there is a lot in all of this urban farming system. You can do business, because what we do is developing protocol or prototype that people can use for entrepreneurship. Currently, we have the concept of the production system. We also have black soldier fire production, where we want to use that one to reduce the cost of feed for the fish. So if you are producing your fish, then the cost of production is lower, and then you can use it. But the black soldier fire also have a waste. We are also trying to tell them that from waste, you can make wealth. In fact, that is one of the, because we have what we call cascade funding that we give to people outside. One of the winners of the cascade funding, what they propose to do, or what they are doing currently, is to use city waste for city wealth.
City waste
for city wealth.
So
yes, they take in waste and then plan it into production, and then they get entrepreneurial. They get many people involved in it, and it's a kind of farming that young people can now do, because it's not the farming where you have dirty clothes, you are not bending your back. It's growing on the tables, growing on water and things like that.
Okay.
So it's an idea that young people should buy and that they should do more into. We've had a number of trainees in the living lab here because we have a training center and we have the different sections: aquaponic, hydroponic, and insect production.
I was going to ask that. How do people get trained?
You
for
can
this,
actually, the lab is open from morning 8 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the evening. But if you want to see me alone, I will still be there after 4 o'clock.
So where is this in the university?
It's in the Department of Aquaculture and Fisheries Management.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we're planning to have, because we have been having training, but we have not really had any training that is UI specific.
Okay.
So
we should have
the
one.
DBC challenges that you
Thank
have
you
not
very
done
much.
our own. So by the middle of March, we're planning to have another training. It will not be limited to UI alone. The people from outside can also come. But basically, there's going to be a UI show for it.
So briefly, in 1 minute, where is this taking us in the next 10 years? What do you see?
Well, you see, if we, because as part of the activities of the project, even UI is going to lead in the data-driven policy movements. And because some of these things, they are good, people have been talking about them. The policymakers are not looking at that side. If we say, now you have the technology, you can produce, the last batch we already have another set coming up. We have tomato, we have tatashi,
Okay.
we have bawa,
Okay.
and we have vegetable, all planted in one system to demonstrate that you can have all what you need for your soup without going to the market.
To the market.
So if we adopt such system, and it's not taking much space, and every home can produce automatically
this
in the next 10 years.
This strategy does not reduce the nutrients.
It does not reduce the nutrient, it does not impact the environment because they are using the waste.
Wow.
And it's also, they are also generating money because as you sell, you have more and then you sell again.
Yeah,
So in the next 10 years, if we can adopt it, maybe in our urban planning system, then we say, okay, let there be a small area where you can have something within your house to produce. So it should go a long way.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, sir. That's I've been speaking with Dr. Oyediro Olusegun Oyebola, co-PI, UI team lead on In-Cities food projects. He's from the Department of Aquaculture and Fisheries Management of the University of Ibadan. So to round off, I would like for our DVC, Professor Simisola Akintola, to give us a closing remark on this.
Mine is just to thank Dr. Ebola for the work that he's doing, to thank UI Media and the university for giving us a platform. What we are doing here today is a reminder of what UI stands for. That the university is not just the oldest, but we are Nigeria's most productive. We are Nigeria's most productive, and we are Nigeria's most research-oriented university. And that the research happening on this campus right now is to change what we eat, how we eat, how we waste less, and produce more. At the Office of Research, Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, our commitment is to amplify this kind of work. He's just the first of many to come, to connect our researchers with their people out there, because it is research that should impact the world. So we are connecting our researchers to their people, to their constituents. To our listeners, if you're a student, if you're a farmer, if you're an agripreneur, if you have just graduated, and you are
anybody that wants to eat food,
Everybody has to eat.
Our government agencies, investors, simply Nigerian and African and a human being, whether you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, anyone who cares about food, come. The University of Ibadan has something for you.
Okay. You've heard it all. Anyone who cares about food, please bring to me. I want to see that person that does not need food. How is he or she surviving? So, if you care about food, you care so much about food, you care so much about living, then come to the University of Ibadan. Thank you once again, Ma, for this opportunity to host the training, the first ever in the University of Ibadan.
No. We have several.
Okay.
For our constituency.
For our constituency, all right. Thank you very much. And when is this happening?
2 weeks time.
In 2 weeks time. All right. Thank you once again.
Announce the specific
So we hope
dates.
you would be there.
We will surely be there. You will be there, Ma. Thank you, Ma, for extending the invitation, Ma. All right. So this is where we call it a wrap. And in case you are just joining, we have been discussing in cities food and the meaning is integrated and circular technologies for sustainable city region food systems in Nigeria. And I have just hosted Professor Miss Simisola Akintola. She is the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Strategic Partnerships of our University of Ibadan, and also Dr. Oyediran Olusegun Ibola, Co-PI UI Team Lead in Cities Food. Thank you once again for coming. We really appreciate this. And thank you, our listener. We hope that you enjoyed that session. Up next will be Security Alert. Don't go anywhere. I am Temitope Olajide. Good morning. Thank you.